Hi guys, Tab here. Hope you're all keeping well. No messing about, straight into the action for this video. Out in the Taycan, I've got to say, I'm seriously impressed with this car. It's hard not to be impressed with the Taycan, even though it is an EV. And EVs apparently aren't cool if you're a petrol head, or so they say. But I want to talk about the different modes that are available in the Taycan, the different drive modes, because honestly, I've got to say, they are very impressive, and there is a real difference between them, probably more so than any other car I've ever been in, which is quite a big thing to say. And I've been in cars before, rental cars or whatever, that have different drive modes, and they have a button that gives you a different drive mode, and it seems to do absolutely nothing. Hey guys, let's put this button on the dash just to annoy them. You know, just to put something there you can play with, to give you the feeling that you're doing something cool, when in fact, all you're doing is flicking a button around. In the Taycan, you don't get a button, you get a rotary knob on the steering wheel. If you've ordered the right one or spec'd the right option. And that's the important thing. And here's a bit of Tab advice for you, if I may. The first Porsche Taycan in the range, as you move up the range, to get the rotary knob, which is part of the Sport Chrono package, as standard, is the GTS. The Taycan standard and the 4S do not have it as standard. And here's the Tab advice. If you are getting a bog standard Taycan or a 4S, spec it. Spec the Sports Chrono package. You get the dash, the stopwatch on the clock, which I think you've got to have if you've got a Porsche. It's part of it, isn't it? I know it does annoy some people sat there all the time, but you honestly don't notice it's there. Will they ever use it? Probably not, but it looks cool, right? So do get it. It's about £1,000, that option, which again, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that much. I think the base Taycan is 75. The GTS is, what, 107, something like that. But the alternative of selecting all the different modes without the knob is, of course, the screen, the PCM. And fighting about with that while you're trying to drive along and look at other traffic probably isn't ideal. And the reason I say spec the knob is because I find I really do use the knob quite a lot. The first thing to note is that the knobbeth giveth and taketh away your range. So depending on what mode you're in, it does have an active difference on the range that the PCM thinks you've got left out of that rather large battery pack that sits beneath your bottom as you drive along. So definitely get the knob. That's advice. Like, get the smart lift, because that's cool as well. Now, the different modes that are available to you are as follows. There is range, there is normal, there is sport, there is Sport Plus, and there is individual. The individual isn't necessarily a new mode in its own right. It is just a secret sauce combination of the different modes, your own customized option that you want out of all the different capabilities in that mode, whether it's the handling, the powertrain, all that good stuff. So the first thing to note is I do not think there is that much of a difference in the power delivery between all the different modes. No. What really changes is the handling and the ride of the car. So, this being an EV, the power delivery is consistent, always very consistent. It doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold or it's slipped a gear or something, it's always super consistent. Dare I say it, is it a bit boringly consistent? Controversial statements today, right? But that's something you've really got to expect out of this car. It just does the same thing every time on demand. So the power delivery isn't that different. The Normal mode is the mode that we're currently in. And normal mode is absolutely brilliant at driving about town. The ride is absolutely sublime. Honestly, I just can't tell you how good it is. Get out and test drive one of these if you haven't. It's so good around town. All of those horrible bumps and cracks in the road, of which there are a lot around here, the car will shield and hide from you. It does it beautifully. It just hides the fact that the local council really need to pull their finger out and fix the roads. Well, there's no money to do that. Well, what are you doing there at your desk? You must be doing something at your desk. Come on, fix the roads. Honestly, they're not good. Really bad, in fact. Especially if you're on a bike, a push bike or your motorbike. But anyway, I digress. The normal mode in this is brilliant. So we're in normal, you get full access to all the power, you get the comfortable suspension. And if I'm going along here, which I will as soon as I have the ability to move again, so I'm going along again now, and I knock it up into sport, did you hear that? You get this little kind of downshift effect there. Now, whether or not that is actually going down into first gear is a great question. I don't actually know. This car, as we know, has 2 gears, and the transition between the gears I really struggle to notice. I really do. It is so smooth. First gear, I believe, has a drive ratio of 8 turns of the wheel to 1 of the motor, and the second gear is 15 to 1, 15 or 16 to 1, something like that. But the motor has a max RPM of 16,000. It can't go any faster than that, which is why you need the gears to give you the best use of torque, speed, acceleration, and top end in this car. So in the normal mode, you get full access to power. In sports mode, you get full access to power, but you also get the launch capability. You don't get launch in normal, which is what this car does as a bit of a party piece. A very cool party piece, no doubt, but it is good fun. If you haven't, get out and get a Taycan launch. It's a lot of fun. It kind of does weird things to your face. And in fact, incoming video on the Taycan launch, a compilation of people being launched. Very good fun. Also, you get spoiler action in sport mode, and I'll do a separate video on the spoiler because it warrants one. It's a bit of a dark art in this. The other thing to note is you get differences in terms of the PDCC, the Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control, and torque vectoring in sport mode. In normal, the car feels a little bit floaty over the road, and that's fine. I don't mind that in normal mode because it's comfortable. But you do feel a bit disconnected from the road at times in normal mode, because it's a bit dull. In sports mode, the car lowers by 10 mil, I think. I think it's 20 in Sport Plus, but 10 in Sport, and you start to sit in the road. We're in Sport now, and everything's just a little bit tighter and more responsive. Don't forget rear wheel steering really helping out here. So, yeah, it does have a massive difference. When you nail the throttle in Sport mode, it's just as fast probably as normal mode. You get pushed into the back of your seat and off it goes. But the handling in Sport is pretty nice and precise. Very much so. I really do think they've done a great job with that. And we're not even in Sport Plus. Sport Plus, everything comes alive. So all the suspension, the vectoring, rear wheel steering, just everything is set up for maximum performance. So I should also note in sport mode there, the sound is louder. The sound of that electronic sport sound becomes louder, and it's kind of cool because it gives you a bit of a sense. We'll do a separate video on that as well, because the sound of this actually does indeed warrant one. But if I go up into Sport Plus, the car will lower to its maximum level. And I'll show you at the end just how you configure the different modes. But in Sport Plus, as we are now, the car is about 22 mil lower, I believe, than its normal ride height. And the battery is also preheated or kept at the optimum temperature to deliver its maximum power on demand. That crazy 560 kilowatt or whatever of power this car can put out. And in sports mode, it becomes firmer yet again. So honestly, the ride is still good, not crashy, not wooden, but the steering is just so connected, and you feel the rear wheel steering really doing its thing in Sport Plus when you do little small movements of the wheel. It's very, very impressive. For a car that is so heavy, it really does make a good effort at getting around corners. Where it struggles a little bit is when you're hankering around a very narrow corner and you get the front wheels just dragging, that mass, that heaviness of the car just wanting to carry on towards the wall. Don't go towards the wall, it's never good. But it's really impressive, Sport Plus, in this car, and just so good. But the one thing about this car is you never kind of feel like you're fully in control of it. And that sounds a little bizarre as a statement, but what I mean by that is you always think that the magic, the wizardry that sits inside the driving systems of this car is kind of saying to itself, we're not going to let that driver do this. And of course, the fact that it's four-wheel drive as well masks a lot of the slidey shenanigans that you might come to expect. And I believe there's been plenty of YouTube videos of people trying to drift this thing, and it's hard to hold a drift in this thing for any length of time. And drifting's fun. It's official. It's very, very good fun. I like it a lot. And this isn't a drift car. I'm pretty sure somebody could make one out of the Taycan, the base Taycan, rear-wheel drive only, all the traction control off, and really skinny rear tyres. You never know. But it is very, very impressive, those different modes. And the last mode to talk about here is, of course, the range mode. And range is obviously for maximum range. It limits your top speed, which I believe is configurable. And it will lower the car as well. Also locks out that, or just restricts you to use of that rear motor only. Okay, so you're not using the front motor, again saving energy, and tightens up all the other systems as well, so they're not using as much energy. But range is all about range. The spoiler will go into aero mode, the car's lowered down, all that good stuff. I don't tend to find myself using range very much. I probably would if I got caught a bit short, but that's the quick summary of the range mode, and you can see it does have a big bearing on the range. So hopefully that has explained the different modes for you a little bit in this, and let's have a look at how you actually configure them in this car. Okay, so last bit, selecting the mode. It's as simple as rotating this, which will have an impact on this screen up here. You can see there, that's toggling around the different modes. And it really is as simple as that. Okay, something to remember, if you want to configure your individual mode, then you need to go into the home screen on PCM and then press car. That'll take you into this screen here, where you can see drive mode as normal. If I set it to individual using the rotary knob on the right, so I'm just twiggling that over to individual, you'll see here that it's individual normal. And if I change anything here now, this will not be remembered, because this isn't where you change your individual settings. This just overrides everything. This is for the live setting. Effectively think of it as an on-screen version of this select button here. So we want to click away from that, and we want to go over here to these three dots hiding all the way down here. And then you click on that, and then in here you can configure your individual drive mode configuration. And then if I want to have sport maybe, or relaxed, it's all done in here. And then you save that, and it will remember that forever. So that's something to consider doing. Also in here, if I go back to the three dots, again, you can configure your range mode, and the max speed you want for range mode. And obviously 60 mile an hour is a bit too slow for UK motorways, so you might want to consider upping that a bit to 70, of course, because that's the maximum speed limit, and we never go beyond that. So that is it for this one, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Do like, do sub, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.